Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. Cloud Imperium have given us some juicy details of refueling, repair and salvage mechanics that are actively being worked on now and what we're going to be getting for their first releases. So it's great to see Cloud Imperium talk about these features in a bit more detail, and I hope they do a lot more in the way of relaying what their plans are for any given mechanic in the future. Refueling is being actively worked on now, and they want to get it out as soon as possible. It was implied that you can expect the first implementation with Pyro or before, so 4.0 or before, whenever that may be. Starfarers will be able to have different types of fuel tanks, so you'll be able to have different types of fuel in them. You can choose hydrogen or quantum fuel at stations, and so you'll be able to fill up your tanks to as whatever degree you want to fill them up, and whatever type of fuel you want to put in them based on the tanks you've got equipped. You'll then be able to transfer this fuel to another ship to rescue them or resupply them. This will be extremely valuable in systems like Pyro, where there are less stations to refuel at, but also if someone just runs out of fuel or has been attacked by pirates and they had all their fuel siphoned off, then you're going to be able to turn up and rescue them. They are going to be adding refueling service beacons in the future, but not for the first refueling release. To refuel a ship, you'll target it, and then you'll use a docking arm that will then transfer fuel with the fuel transfer UI, allowing you to choose what tanks you want to fill and from where, and there's going to be some gameplay associated with that. These systems have had lots of refinement and sort of updates, additions and tweaks from the mining gameplay mechanics and UIs from that, so they've learnt a lot from mining mechanics. You'll be able to speed things up with this gameplay by making sure the pressure in your tanks is optimal, giving the gameplay a bit more depth if you want it done quickly. However, there might be some more devastating problems if you dock with the ship wrong, or you try and pull away, or you get shot at loads while you're trying to refuel. So if you do everything badly, boom! Everything can ignite, fuel can be ignited, it seems, in space. It'll be interesting to see if players use fuel-laden ships in the future as big boom booms, but we'll have to wait and see exactly how that sort of gameplay plays out. In the future, after the initial release, pressure and environmental changes will be a thing for these fuel tanks, so it might be best not to fill your tanks to max, as that might be more dangerous. You might be slower in transferring fuel, your explosion could be bigger, you might be more volatile, so that's a sort of expectation there. They want refueling gameplay to be profitable, and it will need the wider economy and balance to work properly, and they will be looking at that. The plan is to have a full mining fuel, refining that fuel, and then transporting and using the fuel to refuel players and that sort of stuff as a gameplay loop, and this will come in steps like mining gameplay did, so don't expect it all for the first release. It is just going to be much more basic for that first initial release. We also learned about salvage and repair mechanics, which are in their early stages and in active development again, and are being sort of blended together, salvage and repair, for their first implementation. Persistence and damage system updates are coming, and these mechanics are important to help support that. Again, as Pyro doesn't have many stations for repair, you're going to need to be able to patch up your ship yourself, or come and rescue people and patch their ships up. Though some of the mechanics are still in development here, when we're going to talk about, others are very much still being discussed and planned out and are concepting. Hull stripping is the start of the salvage gameplay we're going to be getting, using the multi-tool attachment to save materials and canisters that you strip from the hull of a ship. There is a dedicated salvage tool as well that they're building that will allow you to store more sort of salvage and potentially repair and salvage quicker. You can use these canisters to repair ships after they've got some materials in, and you can either buy those canisters or, as I said, strip the hulls of ships to fill them up. But it can also be derelicts or salvage sites, and you can use to get them. You'll be able to EVA out of your ship and repair the hull, is the idea, after a battle or after you've taken some damage. Areas repaired in this way will be obviously patched up, and you'll notice sort of like different materials there, or looking a little bit sort of like less than new. Station repair is the only way you'll be able to get that like new look. You've been out in the verse for a while, and you've not been back to repair properly for a while. You're going to sort of have a battle-scarred ship, if that's what you've done. Once we have physicalized components, you'll be able to service, replace, and repair them individually too. With that in mind, the Gladius has its components and exterior access to them, all mapped out and shown off now in 3.13 alpha. It's really cool to see. Deeper salvage will come later. So with ships being able to sort of strip hulls and the reclaimer being able to rip and crush ships into cubes, that's something that we're not going to see in the first implementation. So yes, some of these mechanics are further out than others, but it's great to hear that salvage, repair, and refueling are all in active development, and we can expect their initial implementation in the not too distant future. And with the lessons learned from mining and getting some other gameplay loops into a reasonably good state and a bit polished, especially that of mining, we can see these gameplay loops, salvage, repair, and refueling, built to a much higher standard than mining initially was, hopefully, and much closer to what they would want their final sort of product to be, so they don't have to keep on redoing it, is what I'm trying to say. Adding to it, reiterating on it, yes, very much so. Yeah, obviously they will redo and change bits if they have to, and they're never going to rule that out. They can be pretty malleable. In fact, in Alpha 3.15, at the end of September, early October, that patch, that's currently got the start of these salvage and repair mechanics in it. Obviously, it's going to be pretty early stages. It's just going to be hull stripping and repairing with the salvage tool, multi-tool, rather than any ships doing it. But it's still an exciting part of the game, an exciting new gameplay loop that's been added, and there might be other gameplay associated with it coming out pretty soon, as they sort of did with mining, as they refine that sort of gameplay loop. Looking forward to that. That's going to be cool. But what do you think? Are you excited for these mechanics? When do you think we'll see gas mining, refining, and refueling? Could salvage be delayed again? Are you planning to be a search and rescuer or prey on players that put out distress signals? Whatever your thoughts, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Do you have questionable taste in anime? Do you not want internet pirates looting your internet search history? Do you want a way to have more accessibility to the internets from more countries? Or is your security and privacy important to you? Well, get NordVPN. I shill for them, and you should use the code BoredGamer or the links below for a discount. Try it out. It's like a fleet of escort ships making sure your internet experience doesn't get griefed. We have the April ship giveaway as well for a Mercury Star Runner. The ship is extremely multi-role and should be part of any budding citizen's fleet. All you need to do to be in for a chance of winning one is comment on any of my videos made during the month. A random commenter will take that prize. These giveaways and the wider channel content are made possible by people that go the extra mile by becoming a Patreon or a YouTube channel member, with that join button in the links below. And me and Zin, the editor for the channel, are now trying to put out regular exclusive content as a thank you. We'll also be asking you in those videos to help shape the channel with making decisions about what content we do and how we do it. Please consider joining if you're really enjoying the content. It really does help. Take care, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe for more Star Citizen content, and I'll see you in the verse.